These days, where almost all keyboards look the same and have almost exactly the same specs, GMK87 is one of the outliers, and I really loved it. With almost 1 year plus since its release, and Zuoya is still selling the bare bones kit for just $36 US, it's time to find out whether it's still relevant in 2025. In this video, I will talk about it in details, share my custom build, and head-to-head comparison versus the others. So, buckle up. Before going into the build, let's talk about the kit itself. And yes, it has some solid specs. This is a 10 keyless bare bones kit made out of ABS plastic with F13 key. And the top 3 keys is replaced by this small TFT display and metal knob. This display can be used to see either connection related information and GIF like this one. The knob can be used for volume control. Above the arrow key, there is this small LED strip. The PCB here is a 1.2mm 5-pin hot swap with south-facing RGB LED and flex cut. Yeah, why am I not surprised? The PCB uses J-Wick hot swap sockets that are similar to that of Kale and Gateron. The PCB supports tri-mode connection over USB, Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz dongle with a 3000 mAh battery. To be fair, it's a bit small than what the other boards offer these days. As usual, the PCB has the 1000Hz polling rate and NG arrow. For programming the PCB, it supports VIA, and it's really easy to use. You just have to sideload the JSON file and voila. Presence of VIA is really good, as in fact no matter what platform you are in, you can just program your PCB through the web app. But here is an issue with it. All Zuoya boards are in the shit list of QMK. I mean, the brands who are violating the QMK license, such as not providing any source code or using half-baked source code. This has been a common issue these days. QMK firmware's license require full disclosure of the source code for any firmware that is based on QMK. So yeah, do keep that in mind. And for changing the GIF, you have to use this custom tool. The mounting style here used is gasket, and it has one of my favorite iteration of it, the pour-on gaskets. Gaskets are mounted at various ends of this flex cut polycarbonate plate. Not only it gives a cushioned feel, but also the combination of all gives a deep and bassy sounding board, also known as thoki. This is further complemented by these tuned plate mounted stabilizers and loads of foams. So it's quite obvious that the board is meant to sound deeper and thoki, as many people say. So at first I tried the board as it came in from the factory and saw how it performed. And so here it is. So as you can hear, they actually sound quite decent with both the switches, deep and thoki of course. Looks like it's quite usable in stock, but this could have been even better if it doesn't have this many flex cuts. This isn't as per my liking. I wanted a bit more poppy and fuller sound. Now it's time to make it better and make my own themed board that is kaiju themed. So opening the board is pretty simple and easy, unlike the GMK87. You just need to add the prying tool between the top and the bottom case, and this should easily be opened. So what I did was tune the stabilizers, as the stock one felt a bit lacking. I looped the housing with Krytox 205 grade 0 and wires with dielectric grace. Next, I did a 2-layer tape mount to cover the flex cuts. And also I've attached the pour-on PCB foam. Next, I removed the sketch silicone and added polyfill to maintain the flex to a certain level and overall fuller sound signature. And for the build, I stuck with the Gateron Oil King, which is one of the thockiest switches out there. And for the keycaps, it's this thick Daiso PBT Kaiju keycaps. And also you have noticed that I have added a GIF that is matched with this theme. Now let's hear the sound test of the board with Gateron Oil King and some other switches. Now for the sound, I think it's now quite to my liking. It has a bit of a character. Although yes, with all these boards, it sounds foamy, and to be fair, it's made to be such. I like how the other switches sounded on it as well. The gasket mounting feels amazing. The boring gaskets are some of the best out there for a reason, and I'm kinda sad that not many boards use it these days. It absolutely wins on the gasket mounting department and sound. So there you have it, my Kaiju themed board. Final question, is it worth it in 2025? I would say yes. It doesn't have any comparison so far in terms of bare bones and TKL format, especially if you need something with display and knob. And even if you look into other form factors, the only few that has display plus knobs are Ola F75 Max, Aegis AK820 Max and Jinmeng M75 Pro for around $60 to $70. Sure, the gap between the pre-built and custom is getting slimmer day by day, and you could actually get yourself a pre-built and be done with it. But still, there are folks who love to have their own custom build the way they want to, like the way I went for my Kaiju themed build. So it's still a unique bare bones kit and still kind of relevant in 2025, despite not being aluminum. I mean, it's just $50. Besides, do keep in mind that this is a pretty plug and play bare bones kit as well. So for the newbies as well, it's going to be pretty easy to use and they can mod it further to get the full potential out of it. Yes, the argument could be against the half-baked Via, but the presence of it is still far better than those generic softwares that only work on Windows. So for the folks who are tight on budget and want to go for their very first custom keyboard that is easy to build, has Via sort of, with pretty high modding potential, this is the one worth the consideration. With that, I'm wrapping up for today. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more such content. With that, goodbye and have a great day.